So, as promised, I have the bonus strategy, strategy number 9. And the bonus strategy is basically to kill people, to genocide people without remorse. Because remember, it stated that the devil or the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Now, sometimes the enemy or the devil is very, very vague, very, very deceptive in who the enemy actually really is, or the devil really is. But you know who it is because they're the ones killing, they're the ones stealing, and they're the ones destroying. So you can't say that the devil or Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy, and you don't see Satan killing, stealing, and destroying. The ones that is kill, stealing, and destroying, they're the ones kill, stealing, and destroying. So principalities, power play, the end really is the destruction because the reason we're here is to reproduce, is to be fruitful and to multiply. So if we're acting counter to that, we're acting counter to our entire purpose of being here. Our purpose is to continue our species. That's our main mission, our main purpose. So if we're not doing that, we're so counter even to the initial mission that everything else that we're doing is just a secondary and a third byproduct of the misdirection that we have taken. Like we're just on the wrong path entirely. So, Genesis chapter 19 talks about the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah and the idea that when the mind virus has taken and there is madness and chaos everywhere because the leaders have been gone crazy, right? So now we can actually convince ourselves that it's okay to bomb an entire country from the air, to kill an entire village of people, killing people, just genociding a whole group of people. And we have convinced ourselves that somehow that is okay because the feminine energy has been totally taken out of the world. And now we're just operating with this extremely masculine energy of war and destruction, when the feminine energy is more collaborative, community, working together so that we can keep all of our offsprings safe, healthy, alive, flourishing. That feminine energy has been stolen, taken, killed, stifled, trampled upon out of society. So now what we're left with is that we're just killing each other. We're just genociding each other and stealing each other's resources. That's not a feminine way of being. A female knows that her body produces. She gets an egg. She gets sperm. She makes a baby. She gets a house. She makes a home. She gets some items of food. She makes a meal. I mean, she produces more than she is given. So, because that energy has been taken out, you have the masculine energy now that doesn't really produce life. It aids in the production of life, but because it's not its first innate responsibility or power, it's not innate to the male, the masculine energy. It sees resources in a limited way. Feminine energy does not see resources in a limited way because the feminine energy knows how to produce more than what is given. So now we're just operating on the principalities power playbook of the total destruction and annihilation of basically humankind, just destroying ourselves. And it's exemplified in this story, the story of the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, and also the other town, but it's not really talked about that much, and I don't remember the name of it right now. So Sodom is the definition of Sodom is fornication, heterosexual sex outside of marriage, anal sex, and also oral sex, and also sex with animals. That is the definition of Sodom. So these are the great vices of society. And so we think that it's okay to kill an entire group of people because they have sinned to this extent, as if you haven't sinned. The message is the the person is able to be redeemed from their sins. Like there's a pathway to sin and to redeem yourself. So for you to convince yourself that it's okay to genocide this entire group of people is principality power play. Is one of the strategies of the principality power playbook. Is that once you can genocide, once you can dehumanize them, then you can take their things. You don't think they're human. They're three-fifths of a human, two-fifths of a human. They look different. They talk different. Their customs are different. They don't look like me. They don't talk like me. They're wrong. They're not the chosen ones. I am blessed. They're cursed. So I'm going to get blessed. Anybody that blesses me will be blessed. And anybody that curses me, they'll be cursed. And so I'm the special one. And so we're just going to kill this other group. And it really has to stop, and it has to stop, and it will stop when the feminine energy of the woman comes back into society. Women have been operating in the masculine world, in the masculine energy, to the point where the women are thinking that they're the men because they feel like they can't compete with the men. So they're going to have to pretend that they're a man to compete in the man's world because the men have set up this extremely violent, chaotic, crazy world that we have right now, and the women can't compete. And the women don't have to compete. You don't have to compete. All you have to do is showcase your feminine energy, because that's the way that you counter the masculine energy. The masculine energy is very, very necessary and very, very needed. But you, the female, the women, you have to showcase your feminine energy. You have to bring your motherhood. You have to bring your womanliness. You have to bring your sensuality. You have to bring your curves. You have to show that we don't take resources, we create resources. And because you have stopped creating resources, taking birth control and aborting and killing your kids and acting masculine yourself, we're here now, heading down the road of total and complete destruction. So this Genesis 19 story is so very interesting because um, Lord God came to Abraham and said he's going to going down to Sodom to see if he can find anyone because the sins of the city have come up before him, and he's going to destroy Sodom. And Abraham says, well, if you find 50 people, Lord, 40 good people, 30, 20 good people, 10 good people. And it's ridiculous to think that there is not even 50 good people in there. This story is ridiculous. The kids are evil, the babies are evil. It's ridiculous to think that the babies are evil. There weren't 10 babies in there. For us to convince ourselves that this is okay, it's not okay. So Genesis 19 says, the two angels arrive at Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gateway of the city. Lot is a plant. Abraham's nephew is a plant. Why was he at the gate? He was waiting for the angels, waiting for this destruction. So Lot is a plant that is now activated. When he saw them, he got up to meet them and bowed down with his face to the ground. My lords, he said, please turn aside to your servant's house. You can wash your feet and spend the night and then go on your way early in the morning. No, they answered, we will spend the night in the square. But he insisted so strongly that they did go with him and entered his house. He prepared a meal for them, baking bread without yeast, and they ate. Before they had gone to bed, all the men from every part of the city of Sodom, both young and old, surrounded the house. They came out to Lot. Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us so that we can have sex with them. All these men came out to have sex with these two angels? Or is it more like these men came out because Sodom was fighting some other kings? If you read a few chapters before, where Sodom was fighting against these other kings, and the kings had taken a lot of the resources from Sodom and the women. They had taken their women to the other town. So this is where Abraham had, because they had also taken Lot. Remember that story? So when they took Lot and took Sodom's women, Abraham went and fought against these other kings and brought back Lot and the women of Sodom. So Sodom just now had their wives and their mothers returned to them. They do not want to have sex with these men. They want to know why these soldiers are here, because remember, these angels are they're very like dressed as soldiers, because remember they're there to destroy Sodom. So because they just had a war with the neighboring kings. They're coming out to defend their town, to figure out, why do you have these soldiers in your house? So for some reason we have sex here. We want to have sex with them, but they're like, no, we want to talk to them. Why are they here? We want them out of our neighborhoods because we just got our wives back. We don't want to lose our wives. We don't want to lose our daughters. We don't want to lose our aunts and our mothers. We just got them back. We just fought a war and we just got our women back. So this is very interesting that they're saying that the men came out to have sex with the angels. Very interesting that they're saying that. Lot went outside to meet them and shut the door behind him and said, no, my friends, do not do this wicked thing. Look, I have two daughters who have never slept with a man. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do what you like with them, but don't do anything to these men, for they have come under the protection of my roof. Get out of our way, they replied. This fellow came here as a foreigner, and now, because remember, Lot is a foreigner, but they don't realize that Lot is a plant, because remember, God told Abraham that you have to go into uh, into their community as foreigners. You're going to have to go into their land, but when you come out, you're going to take these great resources with you. This fellow came here as a foreigner and now he wants to play the judge. We'll treat you worse than them. They kept bringing pressure on Lot and moved forward to break down the door. But the men inside reached out and pulled Lot back into the house, shut the door. Then they struck the men who were at the door of the house, young and old, with blindness, so they could not find the door. The two men said to Lot, do you have anyone else here, sons-in-laws, sons or daughters, or anyone else in the city who belongs to you? Get them out of here, because we are going to destroy this place. The outcry of the Lord against his people is so great that he has sent us to destroy it. So we're going to destroy an entire group of people, because these group of people need to be genocide. So Lot went out and spoke to his son-in-law, who were pledged to marry his daughters, he said, hurry and get out of this place because the Lord is going to destroy the city. But his sons-in-law thought he was joking. Like when the danger comes, we don't realize, oh, we think, oh, we have a lot of time left. We have a lot of time left when it's so serious. And basically, this is where we are in society today. We don't realize just how serious things have gotten. With the coming of dawn, the angels urge Lot, saying, hurry, take your wife and your two daughters who are here, or you will be swept away when the city is punished, because we're going to punish this city. Never you mind the newborn babies, the toddlers, the infants, the innocent people. Never, because everybody here, everybody in this town, this city, this country, all these people, they're weird, they're different, they're sinning, so we just need to genocide them. When he hesitated, the man grasped his hand and the hands of his wife and his two daughters and led them safely out of the city, for the Lord was merciful to them, right? The Lord is merciful to them because we're going to bless who bless you, but we're not going to be merciful to these other people. As soon as they had brought them out, one of them said, flee for your lives. Don't look back and don't stop anywhere in the plain. Flee to the mountains or you will be swept away. But Lot said to them, no, my lords, please, your servant has found favor in your eyes, and you have shown great kindness to me in sparing my life. But I can flee to the mountains. This disaster will overtake me, and I'll die. Look, here is a town near enough to run to, and it is small. Let me flee to it. It is very small, isn't it? Then my life will be spared. He said to them, very well, I will grant this request too. I will not overthrow the town you speak of, but flee there quickly because I cannot do anything until you reach it. That is where the town was called Zoar. Even Lot knew that the total destruction of all these people was maniacal. So Lot, in his conscience, says he's going to run to Zoar because if he feels like he goes there, they won't destroy it. So that at least the people in Zor won't be genocide. Even some of the plans know that that's why you'll have some of the people from the community, they'll speak out because even they know that it's craziness. It's total lunacy. So even though Lot is a part of it, he convinces them, let me just go to this small town. Because he knows if he's there, they won't destroy the town. Good for him for doing that. By the time Lot reached Zoar, the sun had risen over the land. Then the Lord, then the Lord rained down burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord of the heavens. Let's bomb them from the sky. Let's bomb them into tomorrow. Oh, thus he overthrew these cities and the entire plain, destroying all those living in the city, destroying all, genociding the people, genociding them because their sin is greater than your sin. Because you're the chosen one, you're the special group, but they decide that they need to be bombed from the sky. They need to be killed. And everything in their town needs to die. And also the vegetation in the land. But Lot's wife looked back and she became a pillar of salt. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and returned to the place where he had stood before the Lord, because he was talking to the Lord about saving some of the people. He looked down toward Sodom and Gomorrah, toward the land of the plain, and he saw dense smoke rising from the land, like smoke from a furnace. So when God destroyed the cities of the plain, he remembered Abraham, and he brought Lot out of the catastrophe that overthrew the cities where Lot had lived. If if we're not already there, this is where we're going, where It's complete and total death and destruction. This is the principality power playbook. These strategies are used by people, groups, countries, nations. These strategies are being used all over because people want power or they want more than what they have. They want to be different from what they are. So they cause chaos because they get a bright idea, a mind virus idea that they should get something more, something different.